Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Eric Nelson, and the one and only Sid Hartman. How are you, big fella?
Okay.
Let's start with, people are wild, crazy. We had a great boxing match. Twins are hot. Who'da thunk it? You can take any one of those. Let's start with the Vikings draft.
Well, there was no question who they were going to take. 2 weeks ago, they went into Michigan State, and this kid ran a 4.3, and then he ran about a 2.425. And when Zimmer saw
4.25.
Oh, okay.
when Zimmer saw that, he went crazy. When they left there that day, their mind was made up. If the Iowa guy was available,
that was the first key.
They would take him. But they knew for sure he wouldn't be available. Then they just would wait and hope that the cornerback be available.
I don't know, though, because Rick Spielman has been very upfront about wanting to trade down this whole week. I just wonder if they couldn't get the deal they wanted to trade down.
He didn't want to trade down. He wanted this kid.
So he lied then about wanting to trade down.
Yeah.
Spielman lied about wanting to trade down? No. He lied?
No.
So what was it? Because he said he wanted to trade down.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know what I was told.
Okay.
That they went into Michigan State, and when they saw that kid, that was it.
All right. Patrick, your thoughts on the draft?
Hey, I hope he works out better than our previous Michigan State first-rounder, Demetrius Underwood. He's supposed to be a great kid, though. A friend of mine in Detroit who covered him for the whole time there says he's a terrific guy, so that's good. And, you know, beyond that, I saw that we were very surprised that the UCLA linebacker fell to the second round, so that was shocking.
Yeah,
and
lucky
historic
get,
that
right?
we were lucky to get him. I don't know. There's just a bunch of names. It was a lousy draft. Really, I mean, nobody, you could tell by the lack of action that
There wasn't any action.
Nobody wanted to trade up because the players were all the same after about the first 7. So it didn't look like there was, I think it was a really weak draft by all.
I think it was top week, maybe in the middle.
Yeah,
it's okay.
middle, they're all the same probably.
Eric?
I like the fact they went with defense. I'm not surprised with Mike
Boy,
Zimmer
did they,
and his
first 3
defensive
rounds.
pedigree, but, you know, Trey Waynes, he's a press cover corner guy. They can match him up with Xavier Rhodes. And I think this Eric Kendricks guy, he won the Butkus Award, UCLA, played for Jim Mora, who's a physical coach out there. He knows Anthony Barr. So I think defense is the way to go. You look at New England won the Super Bowl on a defensive play. Seattle's defensive. Baltimore, last 3 champs, defense.
What happened to your hair, man? You're bringing the frizz back. We're going back to the frizz. You're bringing the frizz
It's just the humidity outside.
Well, I would say humidity, but it's dry.
I think the frizz needs a comeback. We haven't had it.
You think I can start a trend?
Yeah.
Furthermore, hang on.
Wish I could frizz it.
Gentlemen, hang on. Furthermore,
Mr. Spielman was in the press box at the University of Minnesota when Michigan State beat Minnesota 14-3, and one of the reasons they beat him is this kid intercepted 2 passes off Phil Nelson.
I was at that game in East Lansing, and I knew that this cornerback thing, and I remember being in the pregame and watching these cornerbacks come out because Jerry Kill talked so much about them, and they had a swagger, not just Wayne's, but the other one, too.
The other kid that went even earlier last year, right?
Yeah, and boy, you watch them, as soon as they walk on the field, you can see, hey, where do you want to play this game? We got it.
And that's a premier Big Ten program now. It's Ohio State, Michigan State. Those are your top 2 Big Ten teams. D'Antoni's a great coach, so I don't argue with that pick at all. And the kid's a character kid. He comes from good background in Kenosha.
Michigan
the Iowa
State
kid
didn't
going
have
5th?
a single other player drafted, which was really surprising.
Okay, 4 Gophers were drafted. Max Williams started, then Damian Wilson went higher than I think even he expected. David Cobb, Cedric Thompson. That is a good draft for the Gophers.
And the interesting thing about the draft is both Pittsburgh and Baltimore wanted Williams.
A lot of people wanted him.
And a lot of people wanted him, and Baltimore was able to make a good trade for them. They gave a lot away to get him, and they expect him to start for them.
Mark Trustman is the offensive coordinator there.
And that will help them a great deal. And they lost their tight end to Denver.
Yeah, so he'll get to step it right in and get a chance to play. But four is a big number for the Gophers, Patrick.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they're bringing in they're developing good players, bringing in good players. There's more on the way. They're they're a factor now when teams when they have a pro day now. People actually show up and look.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They come and watch.
Max Williams is going to be terrific, though.
He should be a great NFL player if he stays healthy.
Ohio State is the only Big Ten team that had more drafted players than Minnesota.
Is that right?
Minnesota had 4, Ohio State had 5.
That's a good
And
number.
don't think recruits don't see that.
that's
I mean, that's
huge
going to
for
help you down the road. Kids want to play
Eric,
in the
I was
NFL.
talking to an agent, a former agent. He said in the old collective bargaining agreement for rookies, there's no way those 2 quarterbacks would have gone 1 and 2 because you would have had to invest way too much money in 2 guys that are too uncertain. But in the new agreement, you're not on the limb for as much. Interesting
right.
observation.
Sam Bradford's the last guy to cash in.
Right.
He was the last $50 million
But he
guy.
said
The
there's
next
no
guy
way
was
this
Cam
draft
Newton.
looks the same.
Cam Newton got like $6 million.
Winston got $17 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Bradford got 50.
Right.
Boy, the NFL is so much smarter than the players. It's unbelievable.
That's a
They're
bad
making more
CBA.
money than they ever have, and the players are making less. I don't know how the idiots ever did this, but it's the worst union in the world.
Yeah, they do it every time.
And they're not guaranteed.
The surprise was, like he said, that UCLA linebacker is supposed to be better than Barr. He won the Dick
Butkus
Award for the whole country for the best linebacker. So they got him. They never thought he'd be available.
Yeah, that's I think we hit on that. Stay with us. You're watching The Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
Welcome to Subway. What can I make for you?
How about our new Caesar melts? Tender steak or all-white meat grilled chicken strips? New mild and melty Munster cheese? Then creamy Caesar sauce. Hurry in today.
Subway. Eat fresh.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to rock?
A price so low, everyone will go. The $7.99 Great Haircut Sale is back at Great Clips. Get a great haircut for only $7.99. Check in from anywhere with our new app. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Diamonds, the jewelry exchange, has half-carat solitaires for $4.99, 1-carat $9.90, 2-carat solitaires for $19.90, and 1-carat studs are $5.99. We have most sizes and grades of GIA diamonds, guaranteed the lowest price. Buy direct, the jewelry exchange in Eagan.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Taco John's. Stop in for 5 beef soft shells, just $5, May 1st through the 5th. 5 tacos for $5 for a limited time. This is how you do Cinco de Mayo. Taco John's. Unwrap the original.
Whoa, that's a pig. Whoa, that's a leech.
Relive all the laughs all over again.
What do men have that women don't?
Beards.
Lower.
Beards.
2.5 Men.
Tomorrow at 9:30 and 10 on CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour,
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
By J.D. Hoyt's, great supper club, great chops, great steaks, great seafood, great time with Pat and the gang. Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt's for anything downtown Minneapolis. Welcome back to the sports show. I got to say before we move on, Sid, you've been right so far. Adrian Peterson did not come off the team during the draft. It's going to be his resolve versus theirs as to whether or not he's willing to sit out.
Well, I've said this a million times right from day one. I was the one guy who said he would never leave here. A lot of guys, including you, thought he'd be traded, including him.
Me?
Thought he'd be
Joe,
traded.
find that, what I said he's going to be traded. Find that, will you?
There was
Find
never
it. I want
any
you to find
reason
it.
he was never going to be traded because they made up their mind. Without him, they couldn't win games. They needed him to run with Brady, with the quarterback, give him a good offense. And now all of a sudden the agent, the biggest hypocrite of all time, he comes out. Now he's going to try and negotiate some kind of a contract. And I would say that within 10 days, Adrian Peterson will be sitting in the locker room at Winter Park.
Accepting that he'll be a Viking.
He will be a
You think
Viking.
he'll show up for off-season workouts? I don't think so.
He'll work out.
I don't think he'll work out. But I say the agent is a genius. I've said it before. He changed the debate from how big a cut is Adrian Peterson going to have to take to please take our money, Adrian.
Yeah, it's been a...
I think Dogra is the genius in this.
It's been a fascinating study for the last year. And nobody's talking about the incident anymore. Everybody's talking about whether Adrian's going to play or not.
No. But I think the Vikings have played it well, though. They're saying we're going to do it on our terms. You're going to play with us.
Which probably means that if somebody would have stepped up with a great big offense...
Exactly.
But if
knock
not,
our socks off or he's staying here, and I totally agree with that premise. Don't give this guy away.
And Spielman would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if he traded him. The way he got up at that draft press conference and said, I'm also answering Peterson questions. He was going to be here from day one, and he was going to be here from day one.
But in fairness, a couple years ago, you and I had this same debate about Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin was a different deal. As bad as the habits, Percy Harvin didn't show up for practice. He said he had a headache.
Well, Adrian didn't show up for off-season.
And they knew there was nothing wrong with him. He was a terrible team player.
But you said he would come back.
This guy wasn't a team player.
Okay, let's go to the Wild. What would it mean if the Wild win this series, Patrick, in your mind?
They're going to win the Cup. I'm still hanging in there. I got the feeling. I've never had it. 40 years of NHL hockey here. They're, they made quite the comeback in Game 1. No matter what happens in Chicago, I can see them coming back. I think they're better than the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks, 18th series they've played since 2009. There's 7 or 8 of them. They've played 7 series the last 2 years. They don't want to play till June 15th again. Our boys want to play. The Wild are going to win the series, and they might win the Cup.
What have they done for this state and the state of hockey? They put themselves at a whole different level for the regular season next year and going forward.
Yeah, they're going to keep the building full,
step.
no doubt about it. And they're front and center as far as being the winner in town. I mean, the Twins or the Vikings or the Wolves, those teams haven't stepped up. So they own the stage, in my opinion. But they've got to figure out a way to win games in Chicago. I mean, they've had that Blackhawks are playoff kryptonite for that team.
Are you concerned about them being able to sign the goalie in the offseason now he's a free agent?
Pardon me?
Are you concerned about the Wild being able to retain the goalie Devin Dubnyk in the offseason now he's a
They
free
will
agent?
definitely sign him. Whatever they have to pay him, they'll pay him. Let me just say that this city, Twin Cities, is so hungry for a winner that once they got a winner at Wild, they went crazy.
Yeah.
and they're still going crazy.
No, that's true. Patrick,
haven't had an empty seat all year.
That's not bad, man. Patrick, a lot of people say now.
If could get another round, he could make some money.
Yeah, really.
What'd you say?
When we get the NHL playoffs, a lot of people say these are the best playoffs in all of sports. But I always say, well, that's because it's in front of you. I mean, we haven't seen the NBA playoffs how many years? Do you think it's the best
I think
playoff
what makes it,
sport?
yes, because you don't know who's going to win. That's the difference. I mean, it's.
But baseball,
it's
I feel
a complete
the same way.
crapshoot. Yeah, baseball is, but. I don't know. There's something. I think. Here's my theory. It's complex, but I think football. We get all fired up about the NFL and football because it's a test of our own toughness. We look at we put our own machoism on the line. Same thing in the hockey playoffs. It's that test of toughness that somehow we see the home team out there and we think that's us making us tougher. That's my complex psychological theory on the hockey playoffs. It's like an NFL.
Physical.
It's like an NFL football
it's a
game.
grind. But the other thing, I think Patrick's right. There's parity in the NHL. I mean, you really don't know who's going to win it. Tampa Bay might be the Stanley Cup champions. The Kings did it 3 years ago as an 8th seed. So everybody has a shot.
Last year, the Kansas City Royals are down. They're dead, and they come back.
It was a wild card World Series last year.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, baseball does have that going for it now.
Leopold told me when I interviewed him the day of the first playoff game that they're at home, that whatever it takes to sign the goaltender, they will sign him. It might keep us from signing other players, but we will sign him.
Well, a lot of people think they're going to be able to trade other players now because a lot of guys that aren't playing much for the Wild have proven themselves, and they're valuable, they're assets.
Well, how many free agents do they have?
I don't know, but they had a lot of guys sitting in street clothes during the playoffs that have a pretty good resume.
I think the only one of the young guys that didn't sign last year, though, was Granlund, right? He's the only one that didn't. He's the only
they'll
one
wrap
that,
him up.
Well, it's going to cost him a little. He's smart enough to say, let's see what's out there. So we'll find out.
But you give him a Coyle-like contract or something like that.
He'll get more than Coyle.
You know,
he'll get more than Coyle.
That's $20 million and go 25.
Yeah, maybe.
Take a break, come back, and watch the sports show.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the sports show. Mike Max, Patrick Rossi, Eric Nelson, the one and only Sid Hartman. Sid, I said before the season, I thought the Twins had a chance to be 500 or so, and you said no.
Oh, come on. Let's face this fact. Hughes is 0-4, right?
Yeah. Santana's not been available.
And they are 0-4, and they're still 500. So that's the biggest miracle of all time, because Hughes was counted on to be their ace, and he hasn't won a game.
Patrick?
You tell him what you just told me about Houston.
Well, Houston's won 10 in a row. So there's hope for everybody.
Well, it's early.
But here's what I like. In 2010, when Target Field opened, they had the best home record in baseball. Since then, they've been terrible at home. They've reestablished a little bit of home field advantage. They've won every home series but the Tigers series. And, Patrick, you know they should have won Wednesday if Trevor Plouffe could have caught a pop-up at the mound. They're winning home games.
Lost the night before to one.
Well, I understand wild pitch, but what I'm saying is you've got to win at home to be even respectable. They're starting to do that.
They went on a road trip, and they were 3-3 on the road trip, weren't they?
Yeah.
Third straight year they've been 12-12, boys.
Is that right?
Yes.
You had to dig that out, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm kind of with you on that. I feel like it's a fragile,
excited.
you know.
It's fragile. It's fragile. They got to make some changes. Kenny Vargas has got to go down to Rochester. Pinto should come up, be a right-handed DH. They still got to, and they're going to have to do something in center field. I think the best thing that's happened to the organization is Buxton's gotten hot in Double-A. We might see him before the year's over, and so we could. It would be nice if they could play with a center fielder because their center fielder is awful.
What do you think of their pitching overall, bullpen and starting rotation?
I was glad to see they invented an injury for Tim Stauffer. Yeah. We won't have to see him anymore. Yeah. He had the old intercoastal. You know, when they were deciding what to do with Stauffer, they said, what was that injury we said the other guy had a couple weeks? Intercoastal, that's it. He's got the intercoastal.
Velasco could have that too if it didn't work out.
Today I talked to Terry Ryan. He says center field's okay, but left field's terrible.
Well,
Well, hey, let's give Joe Mauer some props. He's driving the ball a little better. When the games I'm going to and watching, he does look comfortable. You know, Dozier still needs to hit better, and they're at 500.
I think Plouffe's a big key always because he's got a chance to hit 20, 25 home runs.
Torrey got one the other day.
Yeah.
Middle of March,
looked at the box scores. Mr. Span is hitting 302.
He's played about 4 games, said he just came back.
I know, but Ramos is catching again, so those are 2 guys they could have kept.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually wrote some in the middle of March that I thought Plouffe should hit 4th, and people all told me I was nuts, but he's got the best chance to hit 4th of anybody on his club.
And he should be coming into his prime about right now.
Yeah,
He's seen enough pitching.
I mean, he was what? 4 for 30. Since then, he's 350.
But yesterday, he turned down one, and then the next time up, he went to right field, which means he's got discipline and he's seeing the ball.
He's the least of their problems.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he could be a guy that could carry him a little bit.
Well, and Santana's going to start raising his average.
Okay, quickly, what have you seen from Paul Molitor that's different specifically than Ron Gardner?
The way he uses his bullpen, Aaron Thompson, 7 outs yesterday. The way he uses his bullpen, he doesn't do the 1-1-1-1 and then the next day complain he had to use his whole bullpen.
Do you think that's a Neil Allen thing, or what do you think that is?
I think that's Paul, but
Just
I think Allen agrees with him.
Yep. Take a break, come back. You're watching The Sports Show. Stay with us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Stop on by, see Bob Weiss. Start living the American dream. Take a risk with the right partner. Beacon Bank, man, do they do a great job. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Move her down to boxing. At one time, the most popular sport in the country. Maybe last night for a night it was too. Sydney, did you watch the pay-per-view fight?
No, I didn't watch the fight.
$100 too much?
I have no interest in boxing. It's amazing.
You and Dick Cullum used to have a lot of interest. What happened? You used to have a lot of interest.
I used to have a lot of interest in boxing, but there's no boxing now to speak of.
Locally.
This town here at one time, when they had Jackie Graves and they had Del Flanagan, Art Lasky, all those guys, we had boxing all the time. Now, when's the last time we had a boxing match here?
Not a big one for a long time. I watched the fight last night with a bunch of my Filipino pals. I've watched 4 or 5 Pacquiao fights with them in the past. And it was pretty quiet. It was a complete mismatch. Mayweather's just
really because
Mayweather's
said it 4-4.
No, well, they were wrong. No, it was Mayweather is a complete jackass, but great fighter, fantastic fighter.
So was it a fun fight to watch, or
not
was it just
really?
kinda...
The last 4 or 5 rounds, it was so inevitable that Pacquiao couldn't get home and hurt him. Pacquiao didn't hurt him all night. So.
But Mayweather, is he right with the great heavyweights we've had in the past?
48-0.
Welterweights. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's damn good for this crop of boxers. There's a kid down in Omaha, Terrence Crawford, that might be able to beat him, but he'll never fight him.
Mark Nelson, local, worked one of his fights, was telling me about
Crawford?
Yeah, that he's the real
supposed
deal.
to be fantastic.
But what other sport, too, can they get to fight time 10:30 and they go, wait, we got too many pay-per-views.
Let's delay it 15 minutes. Well, I think the one thing about, I was looking at social media this morning, and a lot of people were ripping the fight, how boring they thought it was. But that's Mayweather's MO. He doesn't let you take a real good shot at him. Whoa. Pacquiao only landed like 80-plus punches. That's how he won.
8 jabs the entire fight.
What would Dark Star have thought of the fight?
Oh, I said it's probably a good thing Dark's no longer with us, because having the Kentucky Derby and Mayweather-Pacquiao on the same day would have killed him.
And Game 7, Clippers and the Spurs.
Right.
That would have been another one to bet on.
Wouldn't have, the only thing that could have been better is if the Golden State was playing.
That was for people that don't know.
Poor Dark.
Dark always loved it. He loved Hawaii and football and Golden State. I couldn't figure out they were late, and that was always just trying to get even on the betting side. So he was always into the West Coast teams and watching late at night because he was trying to make his money back.
The worst thing that happened, though, is we went over to this house full of Filipinos, and they had it set up in the backyard. And, a big screen, and the guy, and they had 2 pools. I gave him $20. I gave 1 ticket to Judd, 1 to Mackie, and 1 to Ann, who's from the family, who's a friend of ours. We ate their food, watched their TV, and Judd and Mackie won both pools, so we walked out with the money, too. I don't think we'll be invited back.
You ain't coming back for the last Mayweather fight.
No,
What'd you think of the Derby, the Kentucky Derby?
Well, I'm not a big expert on the Derby either. The only good thing about the Derby was when Steinbrenner was living,
Here we go.
I used to get Maguire every once in a while, get him a seat in Steinbrenner's box.
For the races?
Yeah.
170.
Steinbrenner was much more interested in horses than he was in. How about the Yankees?
Would you pay Alex Rodriguez $600,000 for $6 million for the breaking Willie Mays record?
Yeah.
Would you do it?
No, they're not gonna.
Well, they're gonna try not to.
Cashman's not gonna.
Could get back the Derby, 170,000.
Well, and Sid
all-time record.
Sid, you should have went. Teddy Bridgewater was there.
Pardon me?
Teddy Bridgewater was at the Derby. You could have got a one-on-one.
Yeah.
He's in town tonight.
The Derby's a big thing. There's so many big things going on Saturday. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Pretty good horse, American Pharoah, though. Bob Baffert, who hadn't won one since 2002, had the 2 best horses. Dortmund ended up finishing 3rd, Angelo Herman from Canterbury tells me that this is the best crop of 3-year-olds in a long time.
Off to Baltimore, the Preakness.
Yes. Quickly, Andrew Wiggins, Rookie of the Year, no big surprise.
Pardon me?
Andrew Wiggins, Rookie of the Year, no big surprise.
I don't know.
I said Andrew Wiggins won the Rookie of the Year, as we expected, from the Timberwolves. No big surprise.
Wiggins? No, big surprise. He was without a doubt the outstanding player. They did a nice job at that press conference. He got that car, and I sat next to his father. His father told me they're forced to live here because I got 2 kids in school. So until summer vacation, they'll be living here.
Playing at Hopkins, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're at that junction of the show everybody waits for at the end. Sid Hartman on Sid Hartman. Sid, give us some closing thoughts for tonight's show.
I'm very curious to see who the free agents that Mr. Spielman signs, if there's any free agents of any Gopher free agents that are signed.
That's it?
I don't think so.
That's the closing thoughts.
What other Gopher seniors are floating around out there?
Let me think. They got a line, Botticelli, and I don't know who else. Take a break. I'll see you next week.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.